Hello, everyone, and welcome to Maggie's Possum Journey. How have you all been? Well, this time I cannot say that we've been superb because Maggie had a little accident 2 weeks back where we were parting out, and Maggie, just in a lot of haste while coming down a chair, hit her front paw, which was bleeding very badly, and she hit her nail. But we went to many vets and consulted the doctors. We had a long week of worrying for Maggie, but she has recovered very well. Well, that's why I couldn't share this wonderful story of Maggie and how she spent this day at this lovely pet resort. Well, but now we are here, and before I could say anything, have a look at how wonderful the place was. Well, we wanted to spend Maggie's papa's birthday at a place which would be best. So we decided let's take Maggie, and her friend Penny was here, and she also came along with her mummy papa, and we enjoyed this wonderful time together. If you have missed out on how Maggie spent her papa's birthday, please go back to the channel and watch that episode. Now coming back to how Maggie and her friend Penny spent a beautiful time. But it was not just Penny and Maggie. Maggie made a lot of new friends here, and their pet parents who were so friendly and so kind to Maggie. They loved Maggie just like their own. She was one of them. She gave Maggie a lot of love, and she was Teddy's mummy. Teddy, one more beautiful golden retriever with a lot of lovely energy. But what surprised me the most was Maggie's curiosity towards this little beagle. Maggie, you all know, is not very fond of dogs, right? But this was the first time in 4.5 years that Maggie actually went out just to find out a little more about this beagle baby. I think she really liked him. Can you see her literally running around trying to grab his attention? Well, the baby didn't care much, but Maggie just kept running to and fro, circling the beagle baby. And I was rather surprised seeing Maggie's interest in this beagle. Well, what can you say? People change, and dogs too. Here, can you see? He just stood still. He must be tired of how Maggie kept following him. But Maggie kept wagging her tail and wouldn't leave him at all. Well, Maggie, that's great that you've made a new friend. Amazing. Good job. Maggie had a wonderful, tiring day, and finally, when it was a little dark, I told her, Maggie, come up to the room, have some water, and it's going to be a little rainy night, I think, because it had thunders and breeze, and we were on the first floor of the cottages that had a wonderful view. Maggie, you all know, loves to sit on the chair. So this time as well, she sat happily, and she got a good view of who all were coming and going, and she observed all of them. Whenever she saw little fur babies, she gave a little sound of her own, telling them, see, I'm Maggie and I'm here. We slept very well, and it was the next morning. Wow, what a beautiful bright morning. Hey Maggie, good morning. And she was up. Well, Maggie also came out happily because she knew now again we are going to start with a lot of fun. Maggie is an absolute morning person. She loves her morning walks, and whenever we go to the resort, every time she loves her morning swim as well. Most pet-friendly resorts do have their own swimming pools, and Maggie loves to take that dip in the morning. I don't know why she doesn't feel cold, but she loves it. But this time she just had to run down and see if her friend Penny was around. Well, did she find Penny? Well, we don't know. Penny is going to be sleeping for now. But Teddy was up, and Maggie said, good morning, Teddy. How are you? And Teddy was a very friendly boy. Also said hello to Maggie. They had their own exchange of friendly talks, and we kept wondering God knows what they said. Well, after a minute or two of their friendly exchange of morning talks, we headed towards exploring the resort again in the morning. It rained heavily the entire night and the morning was equally fresh and bright. Maggie was on her own, as you all know, the independent soul. But at the end, she had to sit with Papa, and both of them just looked around, smiling and greeting people and other dogs who kept waking up and came out one at a time. Just look at them. Aren't they looking happy? Well, I wish somebody could take my picture with Maggie as well. Well, he was our most favorite one in the resort that day, a senior dog whom we loved so much. Then it was turn for Maggie and Papa to do some photo session and video shooting. There was a wonderful background with this prop on, and both of them were all ready. Maggie, you all know, if you dress her up, if you put her in front of the camera, she's all ready to act it out for you. This time was no different. She had her dress on. Isn't she looking so cute? Do let me know. And she was next to Papa. But very soon she saw her friend Penny was up. So she went running to Penny and both of them did their silly stuff. And then I decided that let me give the two girls their morning treats. It was time for some sweet potato. Yes, one for Maggie, one for Penny, one for Maggie and again for Penny. Well, Penny was quietly wagging her tail and waiting for her turn, but Maggie was so impatient and wanted it immediately. But isn't this a beautiful sight to see the two girls enjoying their treat in the morning? And they look so gorgeous like ever. You know, actually they were in a hurry to finish off the treat because they wanted to go down and play. There was ample space, greenery everywhere, and they just wanted to go down, run around without any restrictions, to just find out more people, more dogs. Of course, it was their day. But when friends are around, every vacation, every little spot, every little thing is special. Thanks to my friends also who came, because it was a wonderful time because of them, and Penny and Maggie's journey was again a lovely one. Well, do subscribe to the channel if you've liked today's vlog.